Welcome back to the Goal2Go podcast, man. Episode 24, man. Super Bowl week ahead of us. Gonna be a good one, man. Your Eagles fighting for Super Bowl here this year.
Yeah.
You called it NFC East champs, all that. So kudos to the Eagles, man. Chiefs, Eagles this weekend. It's gonna be a good one. So this week, got our NFC kind of end of year superlatives for 4 teams. Obviously, going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to give you some bets we like this weekend. And then we're going to talk a little bit hoops, man. Trade deadline 2 days away. Recording here on the 7th. Trade deadline on the 9th. Already been some moves, or not official yet, with the Kyrie.
Oh, it went through yesterday.
No, it's official now?
Yeah. I literally just showed you before. He's practicing with the Mavs.
Oh, it's official then. Took away that third team, man. But regardless, we're gonna break it down. You already know what it is. So first off, we're gonna start with the NFC superlatives, end of the year awards, whatever you want to talk about. Let's kick it off with most surprising. Go ahead and start us off, man.
Most surprising, this one for me was pretty easy, and I had the New York Giants. Brian Dable, make the playoffs his first year as his head coach. And, the main thing with this roster was nothing really changed. They pretty much ran it back with the same roster they had years past, just a different head coach. So that speaks volumes of, how Brian Dable was this year and how he got those guys ready. Saquon had a bounce back year coming off the injury, finally stayed healthy, ran the ball well. And Daniel Jones had by far his best season yet as an NFL player. Pretty much, career best in all passing categories, I believe, except touchdowns. But it was his second best. And the defense played good as well. In the NFC East, the best division in football, pretty decent schedule. They had a couple injuries down the stretch that hurt them. But overall, the Giants played very well, made the playoffs. This was probably the most surprising team, in the league for me. Surprise, coming from an Eagles fan, the Giants, they're nothing. You feel me? They're little bro, but they played good this year. They really bounced back, and Brian Dable seems to have them trending in the right direction.
First off, nothing wrong with little bro, but I had the Giants on my radar, and I knew you were gonna pick them because you were extremely low on them to start the season.
I was.
I'm going a different direction, man. The Detroit Lions. Definitely shocked me. They were on Hard Knocks. Kind of heard a little bit of hype from them. Mm-hmm. The Dan Campbell show. I saw it in Miami. I didn't think it could work as a full season head coach. But here we are, man. The Lions, a well season with Jared Goff at QB. So you can't really argue with it. Good defense ahead of them. Obviously, Goff probably going to be their QB again. Going to try to build for the future. But, they got some good weapons. Jamison Williams didn't come back till the end of the year. A rookie they drafted with tremendous talent. Like to see how he comes on. Jeff Okudah started playing strong. And then, obviously, they got some talent at the receiver position. And they traded away T.J. Hawkinson and then only got better from there. So, you look at the Lions, they've lost a lot of games in seasons past. And this year they were able to win quite a few games. So, it was good for the Lions to kind of turn their franchise around, really, not just season. But so I got the Detroit Lions for most surprising.
That's a perfect segue into my brightest future, and I picked the Lions. Pretty much going off of everything you just said, they were up there for most surprising with me, but I kind of just gave it to the Giants just because they made the playoffs and had the better season on paper. But in terms of brightest future, to me it was clearly the Lions, especially in that division where going forward, there's not too much certainty going on. Aaron Rodgers, is he leaving Green Bay Packers? I just saw he's going to have a darkness retreat or something like that to decide where he wants to do with his future.
Well, and it's also supposed to simulate DMT, bro. Don't ask me why Bleacher Report, they were reporting on it, bro. But
yeah, so is Rodgers going to be in Green Bay next season? What is Jordan Love? And then with the Vikings, we kind of know what they are. There's only so much you can do until Kirk Cousins just folds the season away. And then the Bears, we know how far away they are. They need literally every position. So the Lions, especially in that division, I mean, they're set up nice. You kind of touched on their draft class. Aiden Hutchinson had a really good rookie season. James Houston, the rookie out of Jackson State, the kind of pass rush specialist, he had a good season. Kirby Joseph with the big interception on Aaron Rodgers at the end of the season.
Z's up.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of young talent. You mentioned Jameis. I think his first career reception was a touchdown. Like, so they got a lot of good stuff going on. You know, Jared Goff is serviceable. I think, you know, he'll be an okay quarterback for the next few years. To wait for that, you know, franchise level QB that could really take this team to the next level. But in terms of brightest futures, like you mentioned, man, Dan Campbell got those guys playing hard. Amon-Ra St. Brown, an established star receiver. They got some pieces up there in Detroit, and it's shaping out to look pretty good for them. So I think they have the brightest future in the NFC.
See, I kind of had a little bit of a problem picking a brightest future for the NFC. Wasn't sure what direction I wanted to go in. Had Detroit, but already picked them for most surprising, so I couldn't pick them. So brightest future, I mean, it's not really brightest future because, I mean, they're pretty bright right now. They're in an NFC Championship game. San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Still a young team. Kyle Shanahan, head coach. And then you look at it, I mean, they got a QB dispute. They got 3 QBs that honestly could have all led them to that NFC Championship game most likely. Yeah. They got a quarterback that really hasn't played more than, 3 games in Trey Lance, or he played a couple his rookie year. And then, so, I mean,
this season.
Yeah, you really don't know what you got with him. You got Brock Purdy, who was a rookie, Mr. Irrelevant. And then you got Jimmy G, who's an established vet. You know what he can supply. You know he's gotten you to the Super Bowl before. Question is, can he win it? Most teams, they don't even have 1 quarterback. They got 3. And then you look at the roster up and down. They're young. Nick Bosa, still in his prime. He's just getting there. He's just getting started with that. And then you look at the weapons around him, all young. Deebo Samuel just signed a big contract. George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, 3rd year now, I think, going into.
I think he's going into his 4th year.
Into the 4th year?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you look at the pieces around McCaffrey. He might be getting older in terms of running back age. But, I mean, he's still got 3 years left in him probably, if healthy. When you look at that roster, you can't dispute how young they are and the talent they have, and also the veteran leadership that they have. Fred Warner, one of the best linebackers, if not the best in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he's clearly the best.
So when you look at this roster, you just can't deny the fact that they got 3 QBs on this team that have performed well for them.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. I mean, they just have everything set up to where they're bright now, and their future is just, it looks like it's going to continue to be just as bright. Really, only question mark is that QB spot. All right, let's do most disappointing. For me, I picked Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. This team, you know, under 500 in a very bad division. They get embarrassed they make the playoffs just because they're in, you know, arguably the worst division, and they get embarrassed by the Cowboys. And, you know, on the NFC side of things, maybe even in the complete playoff side of things, you know, this might be Eagle fan bias, but if you take the Bucs out, you know, the Cowboys might be the worst team in the playoffs, and then they go to Tampa and just embarrass them like that. Dak Prescott looks like, you know, he's a top 5 quarterback stamped, when in reality he plays San Francisco, and, you know, he's turned the ball over again. So just kind of weird, disappointing season. They had a lot of high hopes. I mean, I thought, you know, 10 wins for the Bucs was not crazy at all. That was kind of like, you know, the benchmark standard for them. Brady played decent. You know, he had a good season for his last season and him being like 1,000 years old. But injuries and no running game really hurt that offense. You know, they kind of lost, I think, Ryan Jensen early in training camp, and they lost another lineman.
Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs went down. Mike Evans was in and out with injury. Chris Godwin didn't come back to the middle of the year. So a lot of injuries. You know, they lost Gronk. And the defense, you know, was average at best. It was a very underwhelming season from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who a lot of people, you know, could have thought had a chance to make it back to the Super Bowl. You know, with Tom Brady under center, you know, anything is possible. But just a little too much to overcome in terms of injury and just, you know, coaching changes. Bruce Arians stepped back. Todd Bowles was there and kind of, you know, wasn't really the same. Just a weird, disappointing year for Tampa. And now Tom Brady retired. They have no quarterback. Like, in terms of, brightest future, the least brightest future, you might be able to throw Tampa Bay in there as well, is just because they had this season, with Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, and now you don't have him, and you made the playoffs, so you can't draft a QB. So it's weird. They're kind of in quarterback limbo right now, so not too sure which direction the Bucs want to go after this season.
I just want to say, you could pick any team from the NFC South. They probably all sit in that category of like darkest future, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So Saints don't have any other draft picks.
Saints don't have draft picks. They're looking at Derek Carr now.
Falcons have
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter at QB.
And then what with the Panthers? Like, come on.
Frank Reich. See the answer.
So you look at that whole division. It's in shambles.
It is.
But they're definitely on my list. I knew you were going to go with them because I knew you weren't going with this team I picked for most disappointing.
I know who you're going to pick.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl champs.
It is. But I was lower on them, so I didn't want to
you
pick
were.
them.
You were. I still thought they'd win that division in the West.
I think I might have picked them to win too, actually. But I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thought it'd be this bad. It's Super Bowl hangover 1, 2, and 3. I mean, you just put it all in there. Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald, he put in his letter of resignation to retire from the NFL. Rams didn't turn it in. He comes back. All right, you get him. You get Jalen Ramsey. He's still there. Those are your two cornerstones. Aaron Donald, the best defensive lineman every year he's played. Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in every year he's played. Matt Stafford, who's coming off a Super Bowl championship. Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, and could have been league MVP. One of the greatest receiving seasons of all time. You get all those key pieces back. You don't have Odell, who's a late addition to the team. But that offense looked abysmal. If it wasn't Cooper Kupp, no one else was getting targets. Even though Cooper Kupp had a year last year, offense was not even close to the same.
No.
Like, Matt Stafford could show some love to other players, and this season is
no O-line.
No O-line. Whitworth retired, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So
after the Super Bowl.
Yep, that was a big loss for them. So, still didn't expect what did happen to happen. So you look at the Rams, man. You thought they were going to be competing at least in a playoff game, maybe not make the Super Bowl, but they at least win a game in the playoffs and get to the next divisional round or whatever it is. And they fell way short of my expectations. When you go out and win a Super Bowl and come back with, I don't even know how many wins they had. It didn't matter because they started Baker Mayfield after trading for him 4 days, and that was their signature win of the season, I guess you could say.
It definitely was.
The game-winning drive was at 90-something.
Against who, the Raiders?
Yeah, against the Raiders, who's in just as much shambles as them. You look at that Rams team, man, a big disappointment for them. So I had to pick them because
they had a weird season too, man. It's like they had major injuries in the middle of the season. Kupp got injured. Stafford, he had the kind of is his career over injury, where it was with his neck or whatever. And it kind of seemed like they just packed the season up midway through, where guys just stopped playing. I'm sure if they were first in their division or playing for a playoff spot, Cooper Kupp probably could have came back. It wasn't. I'm not sure how bad his injury. I'm sure it was a foot injury or something like that. But I mean, they kind of just packed it up and was it's not our season this year. We just run the Super Bowl. We'll be all right. But that reminds me, to push my Lions' brightest future agenda. I believe the Lions also have the Rams' first-round pick this year, and it is a top 10 pick, if I'm not mistaken. I think number 9 or something like that they got from the Rams this year in that Stafford trade. So, multiple first-round picks for the Detroit Lions.
They finished with 5 wins this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what the draft order is. I'll check on that.
I'm pretty sure it's number 9 because I think they're right above the Eagles, who have the number 10 pick.
Yeah, they get the Saints pick. We know.
Yeah, but the Lions, I think, have the
6.
Rams pick. Oh, 6. Damn, even better.
Yeah, and
even better.
And the Seahawks got the 5 pick because that's Denver's
Broncos
pick. Wow.
Yeah.
I almost thought about putting them on there
10.
too. I mean,
pick swaps. That's insane. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to keep this one pretty much short. And I'm surprised you picked the 49ers for brightest future because I thought you were going to pick them for this category. which was most impressive?
I mean, I could, bro, with what Kyle Shanahan did this year, but I think this is role reserved for 2 teams only.
I appreciate you not being a hater. Actually understanding who the most and best team was this year in the NFC.
I mean, healthy QB, they might not be there.
That's
but
what I thought you was gonna come in with. I thought you was gonna use that card. I would have been like, whatever.
What's the best ability, bro?
Availability.
Yeah, there you go. We say it at the same time. Best team, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, it's the Eagles. I'll let you start this one off. Hear all the good things you have to say
start
about
it
the
off.
Eagles.
We're about to talk about it. I mean, come on, bro. Jalen Hurts. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm an Eagles hater just because of you, bro. But I like Jalen Hurts a lot, man. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast. What he's went through, getting benched in the national title game, to now competing for a Super Bowl as arguably an MVP candidate. I mean, he is an MVP candidate. When you look at it, Jalen Hurts has led this team. Nick Sirianni, first-year head coach. The defense has been impressive. Hassan Reddick, off the edge, has been phenomenal. He's up there for DPOY candidate. Run game has been electric. I mean, RPO, Jalen Hurts himself, Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott. They can all be a 1-2 punch somewhere, and they got 3 of them. The addition of A.J. Brown clearly helped out big time. Still got Smitty on the outside and Dallas Goedert, who I think is arguably, he's a top 3 tight end in the league. When you look at it, you got Kelsey, maybe Mark Andrews, Goddard, and then maybe Hawkinson. Like, those guys are all.
And where you got Kittle at?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. See, I just forget about the 49ers sometimes. I mean, you could put him there. I'd probably put Kittle ahead of Hawkinson, and then I'll probably put this year Philly Goddard was probably the number 3 if he stayed healthy the whole year.
Yeah, and Kittle had a slow season too. He didn't really turn up till Purdy came in.
Yeah, exactly. So you look at this Eagles team, what Jalen Hurts has done. What has he thrown? 5 picks or something like that this year?
Yeah, not a lot.
Take care of the ball. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think he was tied or led the league in NFL with picks.
Yeah, and he missed like half the season.
Big play Slay, James Bradbury, 2 vets on the outside doing their thing. So, and then your boys in the middle with the Kazir White and
T.J. Edwards.
Yeah, T.J. Edwards. There we go. So you look at them, bro, big upgrades from last year. And the O-line has definitely been arguably one of the best in the league as well with the way they've played this year. They're getting it done on both ends, all aspects, special teams playing well. So you playing well all 3 phases, you're up there for best team.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I sound like a broken record coming up here every week talking about the Eagles. But, I mean, most complete team in football, you kind of just ran through everything. On the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball, there's really no true holes on this roster. The weakest part, you might want to say, is
the interior D-line.
Well, yeah, that. Or on the offense, you might say like the weakest unit is quarterback, and we literally have an MVP candidate there. So, I mean, overall, it's just the most complete team. So they've definitely been the most impressive. Coming into this season, I definitely thought we'd win the division. You know, we had a tough break last year in the playoffs, losing to Tampa the way we did. But you know, I thought we bounced back. I thought we, get a playoff win. I thought Jalen Hurts would make strides, but I did not think this team would be, this complete, this sound. Jalen Hurts would have took this big of a leap as a passer and just a quarterback in general. So, really fun, really surprising season as an Eagles fan.
And I think other players kind of help develop that, like the
100%.
veterans, Kelsey, really giving Jalen Hurts the confidence.
Playing behind the best O-line in football, having one of the best running games to take pressure off, and then having a top 5 receiver on the outside like A.J. Brown, and then your number 2 is Devontae Smith, who's arguably like a top 15, top 20 wide receiver. So, I mean, 2 true number 1s on the outside, really solid running game, and then playing behind the best O-line. Like, if you have any sort of talent, like, you're going to succeed, and Jalen Hurts clearly has a lot of talent, and we see him flourish in that system.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we'll get more into this Eagles talk. Actually, like right now, I think we should give our Super Bowl bets that we got before we kick in, break down our predictions, and I mean, it's sort of going to tie into each other. I mean, I got a lot, so I guess I'll start us off because I know you only got
I only picked a few ones, but the way I did it, I picked the ones that seem to have like the best value. I didn't do anything that like I didn't like this is a lock, or I didn't pick anything like.
No, yeah. I'll let you know like which ones I think are
300.
locked.
Like
none of mine are minus
all
that.
of mine are plus money. Like I just went for like long shot values.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
let me rattle my 3 off real quick. Then you can go in depth.
Yeah.
So the first one I saw was Pacheco's plus 300 for over 80 rushing yards. And if there's any weakness you want to say against this Eagle team, it was the run. And Isaiah Pacheco, he's just a hard runner, bro. He's been running really good. I think he had a long run 2 weeks ago against the Bengals when Chad Henne came in. He had a touchdown that I called back. Pacheco's just a really hard runner. And especially if, Mahomes' ankle's still a little banged up, they want to kind of, lean on that run game just a little bit more to take a slight bit of pressure off Mahomes, make it as easy as possible for him. I think he could easily, Isaiah Pacheco, there's definitely a scenario to where he hits over 80 rushing yards.
Before you move on, I just want to say I did see something that Isaiah Pacheco was most utilized last week. I think it was on 59% of plays. He was on the field the most this season ahead of Jarrett McKinnon. And I do also believe his rushing prop is like 11 carries. I did see the over being good on that as well. It's not on my list.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, Kansas City Chiefs do get more depth this week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is activated. Don't know how active he'll be, but he's an extra guy there. But I still think Pacheco, being in the AFC title game, a close game, Andy Reid leaned on that young guy. I don't think he'll shy away from it in Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then if you look back in the playoffs against the Jags, 95 rushing yards, only 26 against the Bengals, but I think he had a long one called back, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a touchdown called back for like 20.
Yeah, and then, the last week of the regular season, he had 64. So he's not really getting crazy attempts, but the yards
64 on 8 attempts.
Like, but I mean,
double-digit carries in both the playoff games, too.
Yeah, so, 80 rushing yards, it's kind of a stretch, but, if the
Would you say plus 300?
Yeah, for plus 300, like those odds, I think that value's there. And then this was a really interesting one I found, too. Plus 550 for Miles Sanders to have the most rush or receptions combined in a total game. So if Miles Sanders gets the most rushing, like the most rush attempts and receptions combined at plus 550, that's really interesting for me because early on, they like to run it with Miles Sanders.
That was on Bovada?
Yeah.
So, the only way they don't beat it is someone just gets force-fed like 15 receptions and Sanders finishes with like 13.
Yeah, like you could see Travis Kelce. Like if Travis Kelce goes off like on a big game and has like, 12 receptions for like 180 and 2 touchdowns, like something like that. Like you said, someone gets force-fed. But in terms of like just regular game script, like Miles Sanders gets the ball the most on the Eagles offense. If it's a little check down out the backfield, Hurts doesn't really like what he sees downfield. But in terms of just rushing the ball, Miles Sanders is especially if the game is close, because once the last few games the Eagles have been playing is out of reach, then that's when you get Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell going crazy against the Giants. Gainwell had like 112 yards or something like that. But in terms of most rushes, Miles Sanders definitely gets the bulk of the carries if it's not Jalen Hurts. And then the kind of easy one, just the easy way out, like this is a lock. Like Kelce over 7.5 receptions for plus 110, like. That's gonna hit.
Okay.
That's gonna hit.
Well, you just segued into mine at minus 130 anytime Kelce touchdown. Arguably, I almost wanted to take 2 for the plus odds, but keeping it safe, man. 1 touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns the last 2 games. Had 1 last week. 2 in the divisional. So Kelce, you just lock that if you just want to throw your life savings on it. Don't advise it, but it should hit.
Especially if they get anywhere down in the red zone, like Mahomes isn't looking anywhere else. Unless it's like a shovel pass to Jarrett McKinnon.
Hey, KT might get in the end zone this week. Who knows? But they're short on receivers, so, that's why I do expect Kelce to definitely find that paint. Next one, what does Kelce call it? 98% QB sneak? What is 98%? Is it?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts anytime TD. Obviously, it doesn't count as passing. Minus 110. Eagles get to the goal line. You know what they're running, 98%. So expect Jalen Hurts to get in the end zone as well.
For sure.
Those are sort of like two of my locks right there. KC over half of fourth down conversion, so they got to get they just got to go or get one first down the whole game on fourth down. So
I think they've been one of the worst teams on fourth down this year, though.
Yeah, well, their odds are minus 135. Andy Reid, expect for him to go for
or
it.
Third down.
Fourth down.
No, I think third down they're one of the worst teams, but fourth down they always get it.
Fourth down, expect them to go for it, man. 4th and 4, you could expect them to go for it. Anything inside 4th and 5, past midfield, they're probably going for it.
Both teams pretty much.
It's the Super Bowl, bro. All lies in this game.
By the way, must-win game.
Dude, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think they should let us into the presser for that guy because that shit was atrocious. I hope Buddy can recover from that because he knows he's probably sitting at home just like sick as hell. But yeah, so
I saw another clip on TikTok. Dude asked Nick Sirianni if he'd let any of the players watch the halftime show.
If he's going to?
Yeah, if he'd let them watch the halftime show.
Do people
I think it was more of like a joke, but it was still a funny question. Like he asked him, like dead ass, like a legit question.
Well, who was it? The Rams? No, it was Evan McPherson went out there and watched the halftime show last year. But that's a kicker. I mean, like, what game plan can you have as a kicker? You go out there and kick the fucking football. Like, maybe like onside kick. Like, you practice that, bro. You can't like go in the locker room and game plan.
Saints coming out of halftime.
Hey, not a lot of people remember that, man. At halftime, kind of squib onside kick. Yeah, definitely helped secure that win.
It's kind of great game planning you're gonna see in Denver this season. Sean Payton.
He said no outside coaches for Russell Wilson this year. So
yeah,
think he's gonna lay the law down on him?
Oh, he's already did. Like,
dog. Speaking of kickers, bro, because segue right into it. A lot of people don't like this one, and I was thinking about it. Opening kickoff not to be a touchback. This isn't for sure. Like plus 145 odds. Last 2 times in the Super Bowl, I think it got returned. You think about it.
The plus money odds on that.
If you think about this,
like the kick returners, like he wanted like try to take it out, make a play.
Exactly.
Like, if you take it back, like that's like literally on some Devin Hester shit. Like I remember against the Colts where Devin Hester took the opening kickoff. Yeah, like
come on, bro. These guys aren't like a wide receiver one. They're gonna get
they don't
targets
get any
in
touches.
The game. Yeah. They're coming out there. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this kickoff. They're running that out.
They're taking it out.
So I'm rocking with that. Might throw that on the parlay personally. This one,
that's a good one.
Team to win the coin toss to win the game, minus 105. Past 2 years, the team that has won the coin toss has lost the Super Bowl. So I'm a guy with trends. This year, I think the script flips. The team that wins the coin toss actually wins the Super Bowl.
The past few years, just like been heads. Like it's
last
only been
2
heads.
years have been heads.
It's like not like longer than that. Like,
really, I know for sure the last 2 years have been heads.
Yeah.
This one I really like. I don't know how it's KC first offensive play of the game plus 110 odds. They could run the ball, bro, but plus 110 for KC first play offensive pass. I mean, you're getting plus odds in a passing offense. So
I think they definitely pass it to try to get Mahomes in rhythm. Test the ankle out, see what's going.
And then last one, don't have the odds for this one because it wasn't on Bovada. Over 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the national anthem. Chris Stapleton performing country singer. Country singers tend to be slow. And I'm sure everyone's seen it already. This is the same guy that performed an 8-minute version of Tennessee Whiskey. So he performed it for 8 minutes. I think he could go over 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the anthem.
Yeah.
7 of the last 10, I think, have been over 2 minutes. So keep the trend going.
It's kind of like the same thing of like the kickoff return where it's like this is their only time to shine. Like, they're going to milk it, take as much time as they want.
Dude, to be honest,
their time.
If I was singing the national anthem, like every year everyone talks about the over anyways. So that's why it's like not a big deal. But if I was singing the national anthem, I might just speed that thing up, bro, just to mess with everybody. Because those under bets got to be hitting. Like those odds, I don't know, bro. If I was him, I'm smashing the under. And I don't know if that's really.
Well, yeah, but you got to think from his perspective. Like
he just wants to perform well, obviously.
Yeah, this is the most eyes ever going to be on him. Like,
for sure.
So he's going to definitely try to make the most of it.
No doubt. I mean, I'm just saying personally, bro. Just
Now,
to
if you
fuck
put
around.
money on it, like obviously, like
Bro, the question is that like unlawful? Like, I mean, I'm sure like the bookies might come for him, but
well, yeah, you would. There's ways
there's gotta
like
be
around
insider.
it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think like he personally can do it.
Yeah.
But,
Either
I mean,
way,
if he's going to like online or some shit, like
who? Yeah, I just have like my dad do it or something. Like,
yeah,
bro.
just have someone else do a bet for you. Bro.
So those are my locks, man, for the Super Bowl. Not really just locks, but bets I like as well with those
No
plus
Gatorade
odds.
color.
So I was looking into it. Last year was blue. I saw someone talking. They said lock in yellow. Now, if the Gatorade color is red, first off, we need to talk about this because if the Gatorade color is red, that team did not deserve to win the Super Bowl. There's no way you're sitting on a sideline as a multi-billion-dollar franchise drinking red Gatorade. So you got to X that one out personally. Orange classic. I think it's got to be blue or yellow. Like,
Yeah.
I got to look at the trend of what it is. So
you know what color I would have it, bro? Clear, only water. No Gatorade.
Bro, you know they got multiple waters on the side. Like, bro, it's not just Gatorade.
No, that's what I'm saying though. If it's my team, it's no Gatorade, fam. You drinking only water.
So 2022 plus 300 was blue. 2021 plus 650 it was blue. 2020 orange plus 400. Pats had it blue in 19. Dang, so these teams actually know what they're doing with Gatorade colors.
What? It sound like blue the one I'd be hitting the most.
Yeah, like 2018 yellow, 2017 none. Wonder what those odds were. They don't have them. But I'm trying to see clear in 2008. From 2005 to 8, it was the last one that was not blue, orange, or yellow. 2003 Tampa Bay had purple Gatorade.
Don't sleep on purple, bro. That shit kind of fire.
What? I mean, like, it's all right, bro. But, like, I'm in the Super Bowl. So, literally, 3 of the last 4 years have been blue.
Man, it's probably going to be blue again, bro.
Let's see. The Rams went blue. Eagles, I feel like the Eagles win. They got to kind of rock yellow. I feel like that resembles Philly a little. Other than that, I don't know.
They need that green.
It's a new flavor.
Watermelon cucumber.
They're just going to mix yellow with blue, bro.
No, that's a real color. That's a real flavor.
Yeah, bro. Like, you drink that?
Fuck no.
Exactly.
It's
All right.
like a meme, bro. Like on social media.
Like, so, yeah, you could take those. I think I'm a rock. I mean, the odds probably got to be leaning to blue at this point, bro. That's what the trend has been telling us. But either way,
Yeah.
I mean, Gatorade color is exciting, bro. I wish my book had it because I would just bet for it for fun. But I already got enough money invested in the Super Bowl squares, anyways. So,
bro, what numbers you get?
Fam, let me take a look. I gotta open up my message. I got
They
like
did it random.
8 boxes. Yeah, that's how
or did you buy?
you buy the box. You buy the square and then they pick the numbers.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Fam,
I got some good ones. I think I got 7-7 as one.
Last year at my job, they didn't do random numbers, so they had the numbers first. Bro, the dude that won it, this old dude, fam, he literally won every quarter in the game.
There's no way.
I swear to God.
Was he like the?
He bought every
Were you
right
in
number.
it?
No, I wasn't.
I was about to say, bro, if you didn't pick those numbers, like,
Fam,
bro,
I bought like 7 and 3, like, you know, like 0 and 3.
yeah,
like
0,
good
7, like, bro,
numbers, like,
4, like, yeah, I can't pull up the picture, otherwise this thing would freeze. But I know I got 0, 3. I got 7, 7.
That's good.
I got I think 3, 0. Yeah, I might have said
7.
3, 0. I think I got like 6, 0. I got some good ones in there, but I got a couple of them like split. Me and my coworkers split them before they changed the price because no one was hopping in. But I got like 10 boxes, so if I don't win at least one quarter, it's sickening. But talking, now that our bets talk's done, talk about the Super Bowl. who we're leaning towards, man. I've been flip-flopping, going back and forth.
You know who you like.
I do know who I like, bro, but like I'm going to pick a team. I got to pick with my head, not just saying fuck you and just pick against the Eagles. But I will pick against the Eagles. I will pick the Chiefs, and I'm going to break it down. While I was flip-flopping, told you I like Jalen Hurts a lot, man. Wouldn't mind seeing him get a Super Bowl. Now with Philly, it's a little bit different story. But talked about that ground game. That's elite. Talked about, we all know it, Hassan Reddick. He's going to be an X factor this game. Pat Mahomes, is he going to be able to outrun him in the sweat off the edge? So it was a big question mark. You know, you got big play Slay out there. James Bradbury, didn't really want to know, but you look at the Eagles team, they're a better team. But does a better team always win? No, that's why you step out on the field. You got Nick Sirianni, young head coach, Jalen Hurts, young QB. Kind of reminds me of when, you know, the Bengals were playing in the Super Bowl last year. Young team led by a young QB. This is Hurts, third year technically?
Bro, we're not a young team, bro. Just want you to know that.
I mean, okay, young QB. I apologize. Okay. It's Hurts' third year, right?
Yeah.
Because he sat the first year. So it's his third year, second full year with the offense. I just look at it. I went Pat Mahomes, the greatest quarterback on the planet. All right, I still don't think that's enough. Him and Travis Kelce, best tight end in the NFL. Still didn't think that was enough. Even with Chris Jones and Isaiah Pacheco, who I like, still didn't think that. But then you look, the head coach, Andy Reid, he's been doing it for, probably 20 years now. Super Bowl winning head coach, former Eagle head coach, playing against his former team. Not really a chip on his shoulder, because I don't know if you could have a chip with a career like he did. But I think he wants to win it against his former team. He's one of the best head coaches of all time. So that Mahomes, Andy Reid combo, I think is going to be key. And I just think that even if the Eagles come down, I had this vision in my head. The Eagles come down.
You a fucking prophet now?
Nah. Like, all right, my prediction, like, Eagles come down, they score, they leave 40 seconds on the clock. Bro, if they do that, like, I can't sit there and say Pat Mahomes isn't going to be able to get them in field goal range or score. Like, I don't know. Every time Pat Mahomes steps out on that field, he just gives you the best chance to win. Not knocking the Eagles. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's kind of going to be like that Rams Super Bowl last year where Mahomes kind of lets Kelce just cook at the end, like Stafford did with Kupp. So, all in all, I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a one-score game when all said and done. But I do think Pat Mahomes, on the road to being the greatest quarterback of all time, wins his second Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that happening.
And I could see the Eagles winning too. Like, I think this is a really good matchup, and I think these teams match up well. So,
well, I don't think it's a good matchup for the Chiefs. I think the Eagles are a far better team. I just think, you know, it comes down to the most important position in football, and the Chiefs have, you know, one of the best ever at that position in Patrick Mahomes. So if there's any way the Chiefs win, it's going to have to be Mahomes just absolutely, like, completely carrying. I feel like if the game goes any other way, like, it's set up for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. Like, across the board, outside of quarterback and tight end, if you want to go complete pass catchers, then the Eagles have them beat. But if you want to go, like position by position, like, the Eagles, like, clearly are better than the Chiefs in pretty much every single category. But it's just, there's so much weight into that one position, which quarterback just influenced so much. So if the Chiefs win, it's going to have to be on, like, it's literally going to have to be on Mahomes' shoulders. But I think, you know, Eagles' completeness of a team really just kind of proves that once again, like, it's going to take all three levels of football to win this game. And, I mean, yeah, I'm an Eagles fan, so obviously there's some Eagles bias there. But, I mean, I think Jalen Hurts really comes out, like, to prove a point because, you know, the narrative over last week and this week going into the Super Bowl, it's like, oh, like, are we like overrating Jalen Hurts? Like, he's not that good of a passer. Didn't really have that good of a passing, showing this playoffs because, against the Giants, just ran the ball. And against the 49ers, their quarterback got injured. Didn't really ask much of Jalen Hurts. Kind of missed A.J. Brown on a big throw. It was off time on a couple big throws because of that injury to his shoulder. But if can get to like where he was playing more towards the beginning and the middle of the year, where he was one of the best throwers of the football in the league, I think it'll be okay. But I think he comes out to prove a point that he can throw with the best of them, and if he is able to compete with Patrick Mahomes, is literally the best of them. Like, he's the best quarterback. So I think Jalen Hurts tries to come out and he's like, I can throw with Patrick Mahomes, slings the ball a little bit. He's got the weapons. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they'll be open. There's some question marks in that Chiefs secondary, some injuries. Snead got that concussion a few weeks ago. A lot of young guys back there. I think it'll be a fun game. I think it's a higher scoring game. I think that Eagles offense puts up a lot of points, and then Mahomes definitely willed the Chiefs to like 27, 30 points on his own. So I think it'll be a fun game, high scoring, kind of what everyone wants to see. Some points will be scored, a lot of big plays, especially, that Eagles run game. There's so many threats. Jalen Hurts can break off a big run, Miles Sanders, and you got the threat of A.J. Brown going deep. Quez Watkins, will he catches one deep pass every 5 games? He might be due for one. He's been kind of quiet. So
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did see something. Quez Watkins, last 2 games, I think he's been held catchless in the playoffs. But in close games, I think he's averaging 30 yards a catch. His line's at like 15 yards over under, something like that. Take the over. It's going to be a close game if you want to.
Yeah,
and also take
on the other
over
side,
on the score. Go ahead.
On the other side, you got Patrick Mahomes, and he's a big play machine. MVS down the field, Kelsey, he'll figure out ways to get it done. So I think it'll be a very entertaining game. But ultimately, I think the completeness of that Eagles roster is just going to be too much to overcome. That pass rush gets home. We got all those dudes with 10+ sacks on the season. Chiefs have a good O-line, but I mean, you saw. Against the Bengals, what's his name? Buddy that hit Mahomes. He was having a good game. He was getting after Patrick Mahomes all game until that, late flag. So
yeah,
I think it'll be a fun, exciting game. You see a lot of big plays happen in this game. I don't think it'll be like a Rams Patriots Super Bowl where you're just waiting for the final score.
6-0. Like, what was it?
I don't think we have a play like a Super Bowl like that. I think both of these offenses come out, try to make a point. Eagles defense makes 1 or 2 big plays just because they're a better unit. I think ultimately Philly gets a comfortable win.
I mean, that was a Jared Goff-led team versus Bill Belichick, who was a defensive coach, even though Tom Brady was out there. Yeah. Brady has been in low-scoring Super Bowls and won them before. Like, they played the Rams, I know it was early in his career, the St. Louis Rams at the time, and beat them, I think, against Kurt Warner. And Brady won Super Bowl MVP. I was looking at it today, threw 100 and something. He threw 136 yards, 16 for 27, and won Super Bowl MVP. So I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But, yeah, I agree. Definitely not like that Los Angeles Rams, New England Patriots Super Bowl we saw in 2019.
2018, 2019.
Yeah, the 2018-19 season. I don't think so. Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. My question is, man, you're working. I was about to say, what's the Super Bowl plate looking like, bro? Because, there's always a Super Bowl plate, but
probably Chipotle.
I was about to say, bro, maybe like a Trader Joe's snack or something, but Chipotle on break. All right, bro. Way to celebrate.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch it though. I might just tell everyone bro, leave me the fuck alone. Don't tell me anything about the game.
You just want to go home, look, see if y'all won.
I might.
That is the most depressing thing I've ever heard in my life.
How? I
would literally be screaming at the TV for 15, 60 straight minutes of football, bro.
Bro, that way I can just lock in. I'm gonna just silence my phone. Do not disturb. I don't want nobody talking nothing.
I'm turning that shit on airplane mode.
Yeah,
I'm not letting anything get to my phone.
Then just watch it back on when I get home. I don't know. Either that or I'm just gonna listen to the whole thing at work, which probably might just end up happening.
You're a trooper. If you could go without watching the Super,
no, I could.
I mean, I guess
just because I would want to watch, like, see it, like, fully.
Yeah,
like,
you want to watch,
experience it myself.
But like, bro, I mean, you gonna bet DVR it, huh, kid?
Well, yeah, that or just pull it up on my laptop, like.
Oh yeah, you know what I meant, bro. But regardless,
either way, I'll probably just end up listening to it. Throw the hoodie on,
if I was
put the AirPod in, catch a vibe.
I don't know how, bro, because I would request the whole week off at that point, because I'm either gonna be the most.
Well, I'm sorry, like I've seen my favorite team win a championship. I'm not like you who have two favorite football teams and neither one of them can win in the playoffs.
I'm just saying they did win in the playoffs, bro, and it was a great day. Okay, they beat Baker Mayfield beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolute smash down football.
Should
have beat the Chiefs, bro.
23 years and witnessed one playoff win that you can remember.
Okay. I've only seen, counting this year, I've seen 3, 4, 5, considering they lost 5 total playoff games between those two teams.
Even worse.
What was it? 3 by the Dolphins. Yeah, 3. Chad Pennington, Matt Moore, Skylar Thompson. Can't even think of his name, bro. Like, he's a third-string quarterback. Those are the 3 Dolphin playoff games I've watched at quarterback, and then Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, that's the type of life I'm living. So, yeah, I would be watching every single play with, like, my life depended on it.
I saw it was in 2017, but, you know.
Huh?
So that's what I was doing in 2017.
Oh, yeah, I know. Shout out Brandon Graham, though, bro, because it's always been F. Brady.
Shout out Alshon. He had a crazy game.
Dog, every time the Super Bowl comes up, they bring up that clip. His interview. Man. Dog, this shit was... I think we could have stayed in Philly.
Keeping it real, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, Alshon a character for that, bro. It's probably my favorite Super Bowl clip. I mean, Marshawn's iconic, bro. But that clip... I have you dying every time, man.
It's that mentality we have, bro. You caring about nothing in football.
I think it was just Alshon's mentality, bro.
Yeah, that shit clearly translated to the field. That's all I'm going to say.
Does a quarterback catch a touchdown pass in this game?
I'm going to say no. It's too much hype for it. I understand why the hype's there. Like, it's the Eagles.
Philly special.
Philly. Like, Andy Reid might try some bullshit. Like, we got our own version of it. So, like, it's definitely a possibility, just like with all the hype, but nah, I don't think it happens.
Yeah, neither do I. Yeah, it's the rest of our Super Bowl talk, man. So Sunday 6:30, Chiefs Eagles should be a good classic one. If it's not, bro, don't come after me and clip this and put it on freezing cold. But I think it's gonna be a good one, man.
As long as the Eagles win, I don't care what it is.
I mean, there's no other way. I'd take a 2-0 Eagles win if I was an Eagles fan. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
A win's a win. Let's talk a little bit of hoops, man. Trade deadline approaching. Again, late in the season. There's a lot of talks going around the league. Kyrie officially traded to the Mavericks, practicing in Dallas.
How do you think that works?
Well, so let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll answer that, and then I'll ask my hot or not. I really just don't see it kind of working too well. I mean, will they be in the playoffs? Yes. Will they win a playoff series? Probably. I mean, you're putting 2 superstars on the same team, but you're putting 2 ball gods on the same team. This is not like when you put D-Wade and Bron. D-Wade knew Bron was the number 1. If they needed a go-to man, he was there. Like, Chris Bosh wasn't, like, dribbling the ball up the court. So when people talk about that, Bron played with Kyrie. Kyrie didn't like the backseat. That's why he got out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
And now you're literally taking a backseat. This is Luka's team. Luka is a better player than Kyrie. They're both elite-level talents. Kyrie still got a bag, like, no doubt. But Luka's a primary ball handler. He runs that point.
He is.
That's his team. Drafted there. The city loves him. And when you look at the things Luka does, it's with the ball in his hands. He's not running around off ball. Mm-mm. He's not Curry running around a screen. Not that athletic. But he's got a bag. Like, it's shifty. Kyrie kind of opposite. Yeah, he's shifty. He's got a bag. He's quick. So a little bit better off ball. He's going to have to learn how to play that off ball role. Now, he was playing with KD. They only played a total, I think, of 70 games together, though. That was the stat. 70 games together. So it's not like they were playing for 3 straight years. And
the only pushback I'll give to that is when they were playing, when it was Kyrie and KD, like, Kyrie was still like the primary ball handler because KD can play like off ball. Yeah. He can play like, he's played with Westbrook, when Westbrook, a very ball dominant guard. Golden State, where there were games where he was the third scoring option, where he can take a backseat to Clay and Curry and let them cook. And then also in Brooklyn, there's a reason Kyrie was averaging. Yeah, Kyrie was averaging 27, 5, and 5. It's because he's handling the ball. Like, it's Kevin Durant. He's going to get his. He's, one of the greatest scorers of the basketball we've ever seen. So it doesn't really matter how he plays. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He's just effective with the ball in his hands or without it. So it's going to be interesting. I agree.
Yeah, so I just don't see it. It's a loaner for a year or two. It's not like he's going to re-sign this offseason.
Yeah, that's a big question mark too. I think offensively, I get where you're coming from, but I just think they have too much talent for it to not work. My big issue is on defense. Like, who's going to guard the opposing guards? Like,
that's a great question because
they're just gonna have
slow and Kyrie's undersized.
Doesn't have any good defense. Kyrie's not known for his defense. Like, yeah, he'll have effort, but like at the end of the day, like,
what is effort? It's
like,
the NBA, yeah.
Yeah, if they match up against the Warriors again, who's guarding Curry? Like, who's guarding Clay?
You think
who's
guarding Jordan Poole? Through 12 screens?
Like, if they match up with Memphis, Ja's going crazy. Like, there's no one that can stop him. Desmond Bane's gonna be open a lot. It's just gonna be tough matchup wise defensively, but I mean, as tough as it is for them guarding, the other team, it's going to be just as tough for the other teams guarding them. They're going to be just scoring the shit out of the ball, bro. I think it's just the way they beat teams. They're just gonna outscore them. Like, they're not gonna win defensively.
Not at all. And you get rid of Dinwiddie, who's not a bad defensive player.
And Dorian Finney-Smith is literally a 3-and-D guard.
I was gonna say that was their best perimeter defender on the team.
Yeah,
not the best scorer, but great defender in Dorian Finney-Smith, UF legend. Shout out to him. But I don't see it working. And I'm gonna ask you this, hot or not, and then I guess I have a few things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hot or not, Kyrie is toxic for any team he goes to.
What? The not hottest. That's not the hot. That's like the easiest take ever, bro. Like, it's not hot at all. I mean, at this point we all know his track record. Like, you kind of mentioned it yourself. Like,
so that track record is not toxic?
No, it's extremely toxic.
All right, so I was asking, is he toxic for any team he goes to? Like,
yeah, it's not a hot take at all.
Okay,
like, that's the right take.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I was thinking wrong, but go ahead.
We know Kyrie's track record. I mean, at this point, like, started off in Cleveland. Literally every team he's ever been on, he told him that he's staying and then just leaves. Started off in Cleveland with LeBron. They win that championship. You seen that video that went out with him talking to the little kid at the camp. He's like, I want to be here. He's like, I love Cleveland. He's like, I'm going to stay here. And then in the offseason, he's like, trade me, or like, I'm having surgery on my knee and like not playing for the rest of the season. He goes to Boston. Things are kind of weird there. He's having a good season, tells Boston, he's like, yeah, I want to retire here. I want my name up in the rafters. Yeah, I want out. Get me out of here. Send me to Brooklyn. Literally in Brooklyn with KD. What was his quote? He's like, I'm not leaving 7. He's like, he's like, I'm not leaving KD. He's like, I'm here with him. Literally had a press conference like last week saying like he's staying in Brooklyn. And now, even last offseason, he's like, trade me. Comes back, I'm staying, not leaving KD, and then now he just requests a trade. Like, Kyrie's a very, how do I word this? He's a unique individual. He just does things on his own terms. Like, a lot of people don't like it. I understand why. A lot of organizations don't like it, and I understand why, because it's always in the best interest of Kyrie, and I get it. But in terms of being toxic for organizations, like, completely, and that I didn't even talk about, all everything that went on earlier this year with the suspension, the video,
Apparently he deleted his apology. I don't know who was surfing for it, but he deleted his apology.
I mean, the COVID stuff sitting out during the bubble when he seemed to be healthy, but KD wasn't playing. Like, I mean, Kyrie's a hell of a talent. He can still hoop, and then obviously that's why there's still a market out there for him. But there's definitely some off the court issue. Like, you can't deny his off the court presence, even if you like him or not. And I like Kyrie; he's a really good basketball player, but it comes with baggage. Like, that's just who Kyrie is. You have to accept it.
Yeah, and what I wanted to bring up, what was it? He wanted to leave Brooklyn because they weren't giving him enough guaranteed in his contract talks for the future. And
yeah, and they had, like, we talked about this the other night on the game, like the crazy, like, incentives on it. It's like they would only give him the extension if, like, the what's the word? The incentive.
Yeah,
it was like he had to win a championship.
Yes,
apparently after they saw that, Kyrie was like, he's like, yeah, just trade me.
All right, you have a good run right now. You don't sign this quote unquote extension. You make a playoff run. You show your value. Then you have a little bit more leverage. Talk negotiations with the Nets. If not, you're a free agent.
Yeah, unrestricted.
Right? Yeah, you're the 4th seed in the East. Seems like you and KD finally on the same page. You guys are both going at it, both kind of doing your thing. You're averaging 27, 5 and 5, like
all-star starter.
Yeah, and I'm thinking everything's good. Like, this kind of, when I saw this, I was shocked. I was sitting there. I'm like, this is fake. I see it was Shams that reported it, Shams, and I was like, well, he's risen up. K. Adams, like, it's got to be factual. But I was just like, what more could you possibly want as Kyrie Irving? I mean, okay, I get it. You want that guaranteed money. That's the most important thing. But best ability is availability. And for the past 3 years, whether it was the bubble, not wanting to take the vax, personal choice, I get it, whatever. Then now you get suspended, and you played 70 games with KD, and you've been there for how many years? James Harden came and left Brooklyn, found a home in Philly. Now, this is your 3rd team, like you were talking about, you've requested out of. Like, what could you possibly want? You wanted to be the man. You left Cleveland. You left LeBron. Had a good thing going. You left there. Went to Boston. It wasn't the greatest situation. Now look at Boston. They got Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're hooping. One of the best teams in the East, if not the NBA.
They have the best record right now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. And then you go to the Nets paired with another superstar, KD. You have a fine kind of taking that 1-2 switch off role with him. It was hard in there too. So, I mean, you were fine with the big 3. Now, it's not enough guaranteed. Well, finish the season, play it, then negotiate your contract. Instead, he wants to go to Dallas. What are they going to give him guaranteed? What is he going to do in Dallas? He doesn't have chemistry. He's just going to go out there and do what? Probably make his market worse, possibly. Like, you could have made your market so good in Brooklyn if you went to the playoffs, got past the Bucks or whatever team you needed to get past.
Yeah. And honestly, about him making his market worse, I don't even think, him playing for Dallas can make his market worse. I think him just requesting a trade just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Because now teams know, like,
what do you want to guarantee to him?
He's literally a ticking time bomb. Like,
why would you guarantee to someone that doesn't guarantee to you?
Exactly. I agree with what you were saying. Even if you didn't want to be there, even if Brooklyn didn't want to give you that extension, if all you really care about is just getting an extension and getting your money, bro, you hoop the rest of this year. I can understand if, like, he was in a contract or, he was a restricted free agent. He's literally an unrestricted free agent in the offseason. You play the rest of the year, you hoop, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You show, that you can still play. After, the suspension and everything with the video, Kyrie was not in the news for anything. The only thing he was in the news for was him hooping.
Yeah, it's been a couple quiet months.
Just finish the game out, hoop how we know you can. Play. He's playing at an elite level, and then in the offseason, bro, you telling me fucking Charlotte won't give Kyrie all that money with him and LaMelo? Team would. Fucking, like, bro, like, think of it like the Spurs wouldn't just give Kyrie, like, if they
the Lakers probably would have, like,
the Lakers, like, all of these teams, if he's a free agent and he, like, like OKC, like bro, all they like him and Shy, like if money was what he wanted, like if he just proved to teams that not even prove, but just the most recent memory of Kyrie Irving in our minds was him just being an all-star and hooping at an elite level. We don't even remember, the anti-Semitic video or all the other controversies that were just last year. No, all we remember was him.
It was this season.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about in the offseason. Yeah. It was just this past season. All we remember is Kyrie being an all-star and hooping. And then you just get your bag, bro. But now the next memory teams got in their mind is, okay, he literally requested out of another team for what? Like, you couldn't wait 4 months?
Yeah.
All he had to do was wait 4 months, bro. He could have been a pick wherever he wanted, get as much money as he wanted. But now it's weird, bro. Bro, legitimately, like, okay, say he plays.
Yeah.
What's the best possibility for Kyrie in Dallas this season? They win a champ. Let's say him and Luka win a championship, bro. Kyrie goes crazy. He averages 30 while he's in Dallas. He's the Finals MVP. He plays his best basketball. He hits the free agency market. Would you offer Kyrie a max deal if you're a team? Literally the best possible outcome.
Personally, I wouldn't, bro.
Exactly.
You're gonna a max deal on what? Maybe a year. I give him.
But he wants the long term.
He wants a 5-year max deal. Like
whatever 4 + 1, 3 + 1 max.
Yeah, whatever he's eligible for, bro. Yeah. He wants that max deal. And I personally would not give it to him because he has not committed to a team other than Cleveland, which was the team that drafted him. I think he played there 4 years, 5. I don't know. I'm not sure how many years it was, what year he was drafted exactly. But that was the only team he put up multiple years in which he actually played. Obviously, with the Nets, like COVID, everything happening, like the years were kind of split up. So it wasn't really full seasons. And now you sit there and look at it, and it's like, why would I commit to you?
Like, bro, the fact that you have to even think about that just shows you like that it's a red flag. Like, if you do that with any other superstar in the NBA, you're like, bro, I'm giving him as much money as they want. But with Kyrie and everything else, it's just like you got to pause and think. And I think when it comes to decisions that big, that substantial and that much money and you like that much tied into your franchise, if you have to pause and think, I don't think you do it, man. Like, if you say, like, even LeBron at, 38 years old, bro. Yeah. Let's just say, like, some crazy shit happens. LeBron goes, like, on a insane run, bro. He continues to average 30. He goes off. He wins Finals MVP. They win, like, literally the best possible outcome, like, for LeBron. Like, bro, you would give LeBron, like, a 3-year contract, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I
playing at that level, like, I honestly would. Same with AD, bro. Like, if he was a free agent this upcoming offseason.
Because they show heart.
He's healthy the rest of the season. AD doesn't get injured. They make it to the finals. AD wins Finals MVP. Averages, like, 25 and 12, bro. You're giving him the max.
That's basically what he did in a bubble. And
exactly.
That's why I thought they were kind of unbeatable because AD was playing at a whole nother level, stayed healthy. And when he's healthy, he's the most dominant big next to Joel Embiid comparable. So it's like, yeah, I would. But here's one thing. While you're talking about Kyrie, it's like, bro, it's like when you see a girl with a different boyfriend every 2 months, right? And you're talking to her and she comes up to you and you're like, bro, I probably wouldn't want to talk to her. She's been through in like 8 different relationships in the past year. Like, why would I want to, like, bro?
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag, bro. You're probably like, let me caution. I'm not going to put max effort and max confidence into this. So why would they put max effort and max confidence into Kyrie? Like,
all right. I just pulled up all the all-star starters, so I'm just gonna run through this, and we're gonna like do the like what I just did with Kyrie.
Would you rather have? So, yeah, it's like
even,
a would you rather? Would you take over Kyrie?
Not even that. It's gonna be would you offer them the max if they had the perfect season?
I wouldn't offer Kyrie and max, but go ahead.
Like, bro, like look at these names Kyrie is in right now. Like Giannis.
Yes.
Okay, Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Jason Tatum.
Yes.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
Kyrie Irving's the 5th starter on the Eastern Conference.
I'm gonna go no. Like, I'd offer him a big contract, bro, but he's not getting more than a year.
Yeah. LeBron James, even at 38 years old,
whatever bag he wants for 2 years. Yes.
Yeah, because you're getting Bronny right after.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikola Jokic, with his
obviously
MVP.
triple double averaging.
Zion, even with his health concerns,
even with his brick knees, bro. I'm giving Zion's what 22, like
yeah,
he's my age, 23. Yeah, I'm offering Zion a contract.
Curry,
the greatest shooter of all time,
and then Luka.
Yeah, I mean,
these are the names Kyrie's with, bro. In terms of like faces of the league, bro. It's just the off the court stuff.
It's mind baffling,
matters,
bro.
It matters. It's unfortunate, bro. Because it shows like the talent is up there with everybody, bro. Like he deserves to be up here with all these names. Like he's going crazy.
Talent wise,
27, 5 this year.
I loved Kyrie when the Cavs drafted him. I'm not the biggest Cavs fan as I am a Browns and a Guardians fan, because I never watched Cleveland hoops like that. But when Kyrie was first drafted and the Cavs kind of sucked, he brought hope to that city, and I was rocking with Kyrie, man. I actually was rocking with him and with Cleveland basketball for once in my life. And it's like to the point where I really can't, like, I just question, like, what does he want to do? Like, he says it's so much bigger than basketball, but at the end of the day, he's made it only about himself stepping on that court and getting, an extra $50 million versus just go out there, play, and then get that $50 million, no question. Like, he brings this on himself at the end of the day. He could be totally fine. He could get whatever contract he wanted because talent-wise, he's up there. I'd offer him a max deal. But just like we said, how toxic he is, like, no.
And like, bro, like, I mean,
you could go through those reserves too. I'd probably offer those reserves max deals.
I mean,
I'll take Anthony Edwards over Kyrie.
He didn't even make it.
I know. He got snubbed. You saw the way he handled it? De'Aaron Fox, yes.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, that's a two-way player, bro. You talk about a guy that has improved every time he's been in the league, too, every year.
He's like the new age John Wall.
Yeah, he is.
Fastest. Like, he's super athletic.
So fast in open court.
And the Kings are winning, bro.
Yeah. And he's a good facility. Like, bro, you name anybody. Like, and, yeah, Kyrie on the Heat. Yeah, I'm taking Bam over him.
Hero?
Taking Hero. Like, to be honest, I would trade Hero for Kyrie, but the only thing is because I think the Miami Heat culture.
I was about to say, how does Kyrie perform in that Heat culture?
Like, is literally a last ditch effort. If he can't work in Miami in that culture,
Pat Riley.
I just think there's literally no hope. Like,
yeah, you think Jimmy's going for any of that?
Hell no. Jimmy's like, he'll literally spaz on Kyrie. He does not care. This is the same dude that yelled at a Hall of Fame head coach. Like, Jimmy gives no fucks in this world, and Jimmy's gonna go out there, and he's like, you could say, effort-wise, he's like Kobe Bryant in his work ethic, that he's gonna instill upon his teammates to go out there and put in that extra work, and just perform at the right way. Like, not trying to compare him to Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry if that offended anybody, but
no, I get you saying mentality-wise.
Yeah, like he got that dog in him.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And frankly, Kyrie, like, he used to have that dog in him, that sidestep three, tough, seal the deal in the finals. Like, you were like, he got that dog in him. And now it's like, does he even have an ounce of heart? That's such a big question mark.
It's so weird with Kyrie, bro, because it's like, bro, he's like fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, bro, in terms of, like, personalities. Like, he has, got Dr. Jekyll, him on the court, is like one of the best NBA players where, we know what Kyrie is on the court. But, like, once he's off that court and it's not basketball related and he turns into Mr. Hyde, there's there's nothing out of the realm for Kyrie Irving in terms of, like, what he could do or, like, what it could cost your franchise. And, like, I understand, like, I get where Kyrie is coming from, like, on a personal level, like, he just wants the best from himself, and he wants, to do what's best for Kyrie Irving. And I totally get that. Like, it's cool. Like, bro, do what's best for you. But when you start bringing it in terms for, like, teams and organizations and, other people that are relying on you, that's when the big question marks come up. So it's going to be interesting. It always makes for, like, really fun news, like, and, like, talking points. Kyrie is always, there's going to be something to talk about Kyrie, whether it's for good or for worse. But I think him and Luka in Dallas, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, right. You mentioned, like,
let's score a shit ton of points.
People just trusting it. Bro, it's just like anything in life. Like, bro, you go to work, like, yeah, you do your job, you have a little fun. At the end of the day, bro, like, you're trustworthy. Like, they know they can rely on you, whatever it was. Like, when you stepped on the field in football, like, you knew, like, your teammates knew that they could trust you and that you're going to play for them. Like, I just feel like it's the same way.
On the court, I think 100%. Like, bro, like,
but
people
like,
in the
you don't
NBA
know,
still
like,
Kyrie.
You show up to the game and you don't see this guy on your team. Like, he's just not there. And you're like, why isn't he here? And they're like, he just wants to sit out today. Like, bro, those are the question marks you have with Kyrie. Like, oh, why isn't he here? Why isn't he doing this? Like, oh, he can do it because he's Kyrie. But, like, they're starting to get, like, people would get sick of that.
Well,
like,
that's when stuff outside of basketball gets brought in. That's when all the see the problems. But, like, this last stretch, bro, like we were saying,
as a player, like, you know, you can count on him. Yeah,
when he's playing, like,
but it's like after you gotta have that off court chemistry. It's like, do you remember that live when
I see what you're saying.
Katie and Kyrie got on live and, like, Katie was talking and Kyrie was just, like, sitting there and he was like talking, like, about Katie's just trying to, like, have a good, fun, relaxing conversation and Kyrie's like it was like uptight, like you could feel the stiff energy. Like, that's not a guy after the game you want to be in a locker room, like, shooting pool with or, like, playing ping pong, like, I don't know, or Kevin Durant smoking tree. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, this is not the guy you want to be with. Yeah, like, that's the guy that's gonna geek out and trip out. Like, it's just Kyrie, man. He could have been one of the greatest point guards of our generation, easily. I mean, still has the potential to be, but
I think he still is one of the greatest of our generation.
Just like, bro, but he won't be remembered like this. Like, just for everything he's, like, done. He just
he's been too good on the court. I think there'll definitely be some asterisks next to his name, and people will bring up, you know, everything that gone on. But I think overall, Kyrie, like, in terms of,
but he'll never have the true. He might have the stats, might have the film, but he'll never have the accolades. Like,
I mean,
he get another NBA title? He has one.
So.
He could have multiple. He stayed in Cleveland. He could have had multiple. Even just wrote it out in Brooklyn. Kind of had that heart. Like, D Wade, obviously.
Brooklyn this year was honestly their best year.
Exactly. They were on track. And
if him and Harden never got injured.
Shocked. So it's like, when you look at it, like, D Wade, he had a great career. Yeah, he's one of the greatest shooting guards of all time. He's obviously not up there. But he played literally the majority of his career in Miami. Had a few off seasons in Chicago and Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
But Dwayne Wade will go down for my favorite player because he had that loyalty and he trusted in the Heat. And, like, Kyrie, I don't think he'll be that for anybody because, like, he's just gone so many different places.
And that's where it comes down to what I was saying earlier. Is Kyrie's going to do what's best for him. He doesn't really care. You talking about D Wade, that's a player, you know, he had the opportunity to literally, like, be a franchise, you know. When they went on that first 06 championship run, like, all the way until, you know, he retired, like, Miami, like, D Wade was associated with Miami. Even when LeBron was there, it was the best player. Yeah. And, you know, always at times, you know, Chris Bosh, he was another big name that was there. It was always D Wade was the face. Kyrie never, I don't think he really cared about that. Kyrie doesn't want that.
He was the face of Cleveland before Braun got back, and then you pair him up and win a championship. It's not even just being the face. It's just, like, when you look at Braun, like, he'll be remembered. Yeah, he went to Cleveland. He left, like, all right, he wanted a championship, got the big three in Miami, and then he was like, you know what, let me go back to my hometown. Finally brought some hope and brought them out of desperation or disparity, whatever you want to call it, for Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Won them a chip. Now he's on his third team, and he's been in the league. He's, what, 38? He's been in the league 20 years. Kyrie's been in the league, what, 10? Not 8, 9?
No, I believe he was drafted in 2011. So
12.
Yeah.
12,
13.
Yeah, he was probably drafted at 18, 19.
Well,
19.
He was one and done. So
yeah, 19, 20.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
he didn't even play for Duke.
He's on his, what, fourth team? Yeah. It's just like, you just really can't make it up, bro.
At this point, you just have to hope, you know, it personally works out for Kyrie, because that's clearly all that matters. You know, He's gonna do.
But what
what's
is
best
personally
for Kyrie.
working out for? Like, I don't understand. Is it the guarantee? Is it just the guaranteed money?
At this point, that's what it has to be.
Because he wanted to be the number one guy. That's why he left Cleveland. They would have offered him money, but he didn't want that. He wanted to be the guy, and then he went to.
He came out and he said those. I think it was this past offseason or whatever. He talked about like how he was wrong and like he probably should have played with LeBron. Now he obviously has major respect for LeBron. That's kind of why those rumors were.
He's more mature.
And he was better playing with Kyrie. So at this point, I don't think it's him being a number one guy. At a certain time, I think it was. Now I just think he wants the money.
Okay, and then Boston, what? Just
because
not the right fit?
If it was him being the number one guy, why would he leave Brooklyn? KD's injured right now. He would have been the number one guy for, until KD's back. Boston, he just left because he didn't like the fit. It didn't work with them. They kind of was, going in two different ways. And I think, Kyrie, where he wanted to be the face of Boston, but, he saw Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two young guys rising, like, it was going to be their team, so he kind of was like, all right, let me leave and go with KD. That's kind of where he kind of had that realization where it's like, okay, I'm going to need, it's like, in this league, like, you need somebody else. Like, you have to have a number 2 or a 1A and 1B if you want to make any noise. I think Kyrie realized that, but I think he just wants the money. Like, that's why he left Brooklyn. Like, Brooklyn was literally the perfect spot for him in terms of basketball. Like, you got to think. When KD was healthy, they were like 24-8. Like, they were winning games. They had like the best stretch going like throughout the NBA. KD gets injured. The Nets are getting like they're losing games and stuff. But Kyrie's still playing at a really high level. So I just think it's the money at this point. Like, clearly, the teams don't really matter to Kyrie. I mean, I'm not Kyrie Irving, so I can't tell you exactly what he's thinking. But from what we've seen, it's like, winning, how much does it really mean to him at this point? The team, all that stuff. I just think he wants his bag, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to like. I personally don't understand what he's thinking.
If that's
like, obviously,
what you think
we're not
wants,
Kyrie.
the moves and stuff he's making don't really add up to that.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you wanted,
it hurts his bag even more.
Exactly. So that long-term deal.
Yeah, and you could have been eligible, I think, for a higher percentage max contract because you were on the Nets for that many years, and now you're going to a new team like the Mavs. You're only getting the base max of what he could get, as opposed to even more money if he'd stayed with the Nets. But that's NBA contract term. Like, I don't know the exact all logistics of it.
Yeah,
but it is what it is, and yeah, you're right. So I guess we'll see this offseason. We'll see how that fit works.
Who do you think offers him a long-term contract?
I wouldn't. I don't know who would. I'd have to look in deep into it, bro. But like you said, OKC, I don't think they'd do it. I think Shea's their guy. They'd want to get someone else.
Well, Shea can play off ball though.
He could, but I wouldn't. If I'm OKC, I'm not giving Kyrie that. The Lakers might take a chance with Braun if he can somehow work a deal with that, but wouldn't be enough money for Kyrie.
Rockets offer him a long-term deal.
Then we're just playing straight street hoops with the Rockets. Like, it's just straight ISO, Kyrie cooking, and then you pass it to Jalen Green and Kevin Porter, and they try to go like that would be the most. I think
Houston will give Kyrie a 4+1.
Yeah, I mean,
$200 million. Like,
they're in desperation. Why wouldn't they? Like,
I mean, they don't have any hopes on their horizon.
Just fuck it.
Give Kyrie a shit ton of money. Let him do whatever he wants.
Just throw it. Yeah, we'll see. But right now, no trade talks of KD. 2 days away.
I saw the report saying if he were to become available, he just what.
Yeah, the Heat would strongly pursue KD.
What are you giving up for KD?
What do they want? I give them anything.
Even Jimmy?
Personally, I like Jimmy too much. Like, but if they did it makes sense. But I don't think they would give up. I think Jimmy and Bam are the two off the table players. Everyone else is movable in terms of Pat Riley is the GM. And I don't
know if you'd be able to keep both of them.
Yeah, I don't know either. But you got to look at the contract. It would have been way easier to get Kyrie because it's a loaner. Yeah. But I know KD has a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what his deal is, but he's not a 1 year.
I think
done.
I'd give up Bam.
But then the Heat are just absolutely done in the interior. Like, they have no one on their roster. Just traded Dwayne Dedman, got a second-round pick.
Well, KD's actually stepped up, and he's been one of the best defensive players this year in the paint.
Yeah, but all right,
KD's there.
You go match up against Philly in the playoffs. You're done. Like, who's guarding Joel?
You have to put KD on him.
Really? Joel Embiid versus KD?
Shit, he gonna have to guard him on. Who gonna guard KD?
Dude,
who gonna guard Jimmy?
Bro, I'm fine with that, bro. They could just do whatever. No one can guard KD, but dude.
So to get Kevin Durant, as you're a Miami Heat fan, who would you rather give up, Bam or Jimmy?
I would rather give up Bam, but personally, like scheme wise and fit wise, you can't give up Bam, just because you literally have no other big man on that roster. Like, there's nobody that could have even Bam got exposed against AD in the play. Not even exposed, but he did a decent job. He was a little bit exposed because he's an undersized big. He got exposed by AD. Imagine what Joel Embiid's going to do to him without a Bam. I mean, when Bam came off the court against AD in the bubble finals, the Heat were cooked. Like, there was no chance they stood.
Yeah.
Bam, he literally had to play 48 minutes if they wanted to hold that interior paint down. And now you got Orlando Robinson. Like, that's your other big man coming off the bench now. And he's, like, it's just, like, you got to be able to keep Bam because there's no way. You got Giannis, Joel in the East. You talked about
I'm thinking
AD,
right now about, like, the East teams. Like,
Jokic.
Damn, the Cavs.
Like,
Mobley and Jared Allen are really nice inside.
Yeah, I mean, those are more slashing bigs. But you get Joel Embiid.
Well, you need size for them to match up.
No, yeah. But I'm just talking about, like, Joel Embiid getting the ball in the low post. Like, Kevin Durant's cooked. He's got 100 less pounds than Joel Embiid. Like, that's an easy bucket. Like,
I don't know if KD has been playing good defense this year.
Dude, he's not holding Joel Embiid in the paint.
All right, he's not holding Joel, but it's not going to be easy. You feel me,
bro? It's a
7-footer.
It's the NBA terms of easy. Yes, that is easy.
I don't think so.
100 pounds is easy, bro. Like, he's literally he's gonna get picked up and put over there, bro. Like,
you're sleeping on KD's defense this season.
I'm not.
Bro.
He's just under. Like, bro, he's not gonna be able. Like, Bam's already undersized as it is. KD's taller, sure, but his paint presence is nowhere close to what Bam can contribute.
I just don't. No, I'm not. Yeah, obviously Bam will be a lot better. I just don't think it'll be as easy as you're making it.
It's barbecue chicken, bro.
No, I don't think so.
It's barbecue chicken.
It's not.
Imagine Giannis coming down the lane against KD. Like,
Giannis is a different story. But for Giannis, you can just build a wall.
But yeah, okay, yeah, you could build a wall. But Joel Embiid gets the ball in the post. Like, bro, he's a post scorer. Like, that's what Joel lives. His bread and butter is post scoring. So you'd have to trade Jimmy over Bam.
I'm not saying it'll be
scheme wise.
Though.
I love both players, but Bam's also younger, so yeah, you'd probably be more willing to give up Jimmy. But at the end of the day, yeah.
Oh no, Jimmy in the playoffs though,
bro. You're talking like my favorite. This is my favorite player other than D Wade of all time right now. Like, even when Jimmy was on the Bulls, he was the guy guarding LeBron when he was a nobody, clamping for that. What's his name? Tom Thibodeau, right? The Bulls coach.
Yeah,
when he just runs them to the ground. Yeah, 42 minutes, just goes out there straight hard against LeBron. Yeah. This guy was like a second round pick, straight up nobody. And I was like, bro, this Jimmy Butler guy, look at him. He's become an offensive star. He came into the league just a defensive kind of dog scrappy mentality.
Was he in Minnesota as well?
Yeah, and he told Andrew Wiggins, "You're fucking soft and cat." Remember?
Yeah, beat him with the second team.
Yep. Like, bro, that's that dog. Like, there's nothing, bro. We talk about heart all the time. There's nothing I love more in a player than just having that in you and just having that self-expression and that attitude towards the game, bro. Like, you got to have that passion, in my opinion.
No, yeah, you definitely do. KD's been, 1.5 blocks per game. 0.8 steals. KD's been. Yeah,
but let's see him.
Defensively, he's been better. He's been better this year. Now, obviously, Embiid is gonna have his way, but it's not gonna be easy, bro.
It's 30 ball,
bro. It's not like you out there throwing like fucking John Wall on him, bro. Like, It's a 7-foot KD who has been a lot better this year in terms of defense in the paint.
He's still having elementary school recess on him. Like,
No, I think you're sleeping on KD's defense.
Well, I guess we'll see if KD gets moved or not. The Nets had a meeting of talking about what direction their team's gonna go. I mean,
I saw that.
It's true. Like, what do? They want to kind of move Dinwiddie, who's returned back to.
So they're trying to get Van Vliet from Toronto.
Yeah, I don't even know why you want Van Vliet. Van Vliet's been subpar this year. Siakam, you kind of know it.
He's been cooking a little bit lately in the past few weeks. Van Vliet, he's stepped it up.
No, he has gotten like more back on track, but with Siakam, it's like he's not. Yeah. He'd be a good fit, and finally he'd be like a number 2 because I don't think he could be a number 1 in this league.
Well, he can, but it just won't be winning. He's a number 1 now. It's just not going to lead to any winning.
Yeah, you're just going to be average.
On a contending team.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when Kawhi came in, he was number 2.
Number 2, yeah. And so I think if you pair him up with KD, it'd be good. I mean, they're basically like the same type of build, like just size, like, lengthy, tall. Siakam kind of less of an offensive bag. Still got a little bit of a bag, but it's more awkward. Yeah, it's not. KD's just smooth when you like. It's smooth, his whole bag.
Yeah.
From the jump shot to the crossover to whatever it is. So it'd be interesting to see if the Raptors make a move because they're kind of. I don't know what seed they are, but they're back there in the East.
Well, everyone's saying the Raptors are going to be like the highest sellers this year. Like they're shot like OG Anunoby is like the prize market like of this year's like off season.
So yeah,
like they're looking like OG, Van Vliet, like Siakam. Like they're willing to move like anybody.
I heard the 2 they want to keep is kind of like OG and Scotty, but yeah, OG's definitely have to keep Scotty. Yeah.
OG's been like the biggest name in like in terms of trade. Like that's who everybody wants this year.
Bro, he's improved as a scorer, one of the elite defenders in this league. He's got size, he's got length.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds you of a Jimmy Butler. Like a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, but it reminds you of that Jimmy Butler perimeter defender. Starting to get it going on the offensive end, can get you 20 points. Like OG's that guy.
I saw there was a report saying like New Orleans and Memphis are basically like having a bidding war for OG Anunoby. Like,
I'm trying.
Him on Memphis would be nice though.
Yeah, New Orleans still got BI. So it's like they're kind of the same position.
Well, BI is a lot better scorer.
No, yeah, he's a pure scorer,
and OG makes up for that defense.
Yeah, and then you add Zion. So, I know he's not healthy, but, we're going to put OG at the 2? I mean, I guess you could, and you could have a team that's just long as hell.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be a better fit in Memphis just because they really don't have that.
He's just fucking like an S-tier Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. Dylan Brooks, I don't even know.
Bro, OG literally does everything Dylan Brooks does, but just at a very higher level.
You saw Donovan tweeted the NBA script bent crazy after he got punched in the nuts.
Yeah, no, he said that after the Orlando and Minnesota fight because it was
the day after. In the nuts and then the day after.
So it was like 2 fights back to back. So yeah,
and then I think the Magic should try to move a piece, bro. Like they got Jonathan Isaac, Bobo, and Paolo Banchero. I mean, obviously you probably definitely keeping Paolo, who's your number 1 pick.
Yeah, and Franz
Wagner.
He was like their big pick last year.
You got to keep Bobo. What value does Jonathan Isaac hold right now? Because, Jonathan Isaac, he was that guy coming out.
Bobo, or do you move Wendell Carter?
They just got so much size and length.
Mo Bamba.
And Mo Bamba. That's who else.
Yeah.
Which one do you keep? Bamba, Bobo. Bro, you can't run all these 5 guys. You literally have a starting 5 of big men.
You could definitely move off. I would move off on one of those.
You have to.
Bobo,
Jonathan Isaac, Bobo, Mo Bamba.
Yeah. Although I don't.
But Isaac probably doesn't have much value right now because of the injury.
Yeah.
Bobo, he's kind of been hooping when he's gotten the minutes. He
probably has the most value right now. Bobo.
Yeah. And then
send him to a contender, bro. Who needs a big man?
The Heat. The Heat could use Bobo.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Help Bam. Give him a little break down low.
Because he's coming off the bench, isn't he? Bobo?
I think so.
You keep him on the bench. Bam comes out and you get someone even bigger. I mean, that'd be a nice fit for him. I'm not gonna lie.
Or you know what's actually crazy, but it makes sense now. Send them back to the Nuggets, bro. Like outside of Jokic, like they don't have any depth at big man.
I mean, they got rid of him, bro.
I know, but I'm saying if he can't like now the way he's playing,
he's been
they could use him.
He's been hooping, bro. In transition, he's showing a handle package. He showed he's versatile,
reel, bro. Yeah. Maybe the Mavericks.
Mavs could use a big.
Yeah,
they could.
With Kyrie and Luka, kind of give them interior help when they get blown by every off defensive possession.
Just have a 7'3" fucking giant behind them.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Would work. Memphis, definitely.
But I think they got to move one of those if you're the Magic. Like, what are you really, kind of doing?
That is a good question. The big, it's just where is OG gonna land? That's kind of the big thing. If he ends up on Memphis, I think they have a shot. The West is open, man.
With that thug Ja Morant,
oh my God.
Dude,
pointing laser beams at people.
Yeah, he said it. He came out and said it's all false and there's evidence to prove against it. Whatever.
That's what a street thug would say.
Bro, they were clowning him on social. They brought up an old picture of him with that polo in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean that's class. Like everyone's cooking John out. Right?
We'll see, bro. But yeah, it's a really
trade them. It should be interesting.
All I got. I mean, next week we'll have it for sure. See if there's any, last move in the day, 2 days, day and a half we got left. So
Kings should make a move too. They need defense, bro. They're like the number one scoring team. They don't have any defense, bro. All their players are offensive oriented.
Yeah. Besides De'Aaron.
Well, yeah. But he's better on, they don't have like a true wing or whatever.
Nah.
Like Harrison Barnes. Like, yeah. What are we doing there?
Definitely. Malik Monk can get a bucket, but yeah. I mean, he's got a little length to him, but.
Shit, OG on fucking the Kings. That'd be.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy.
I don't know what capital they're giving up. I mean, we'll see. Kind of just playing GM here.
All their picks and stuff. You have to go on Trade Finder.
All right. Is that what you've been on?
I haven't, but I know that's like a thing. Like you can go on like Trade Finder, like make trades and shit.
Yeah. Episode 24, man. Super Bowl week. Eagles, Chiefs. Guess we'll find out if you watched the game or waited.
No, I'll probably end up listening to it.
I was about to say, I'm going to blow up your phone. I'm going to show up to your house. Like,
all right, bro. Now you're mad.
Be like, Eagles won, Eagles lost on your door. Goal2Go pod, man. YouTube. Hopefully the audio stays right. Back on Apple Music, Spotify. Goal2Go TikTok. Check it out. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Hey, shout out, that boy Andy was hitting me up. He said, what's the deal with Kyrie? Y'all boys talking about it on the next episode? I was like, we got to. So shout out that boy Andy, man. Tuned in, tapped in. The vibes, kid. But appreciate everyone tuning in, showing love. Goal2Go TikTok, YouTube, like, comment, follow, subscribe, whatever app you're on. Hit that share button, man. Appreciate everyone tuning in.
Appreciate it.
We'll see y'all next week. Super Bowl winners. Peace.
Go Birds.